Welcome to Slayerfest 98. My name is Zachary Patton Garcia.
I'm Carlos Crawford.
I am Philip Ellis, and joining us today, we have got model and writer
Penelope Reed.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
I think you two can correct. Penelope, I think you're our first guest for this season. I've had fill-in hosts for episodes I haven't been on, but I think you're the first official guest this season of Angel.
Oh, wow. I feel really special.
I didn't realize you hadn't done guests yet. I thought you're almost through the damn season too. It's crazy this year, man.
Yeah. I thought of you, Penelope, because I feel like we were just DMing the other. Weren't you watching an episode of Buffy with Harmony?
I mean, I do talk about her a lot because I love her, whoever is styling her hair, especially season 5 hair. I'm just whoever was doing their hair for that season. Because it was her hair and Buffy's hair.
Yeah.
Whoever was doing their blonde hair. So good. Because nobody has blonde hair like that anymore.
Right. Yeah. It's a beautiful wig. But yeah, I thought of you once. I was like, oh, my co-hosts are available. Ooh, I'll ask Penelope. She loves Harmony.
I do.
And this was an episode I was kind of excited to get to because I think Harmony, like you, I love her. I just think she's fun to watch. Mm. But Zach, this is your first time watching this one, right?
This was not my first time watching this one, but I was sure that this episode was season 1. It's just in my mind as season 1, but I did remember this episode. I didn't remember the bigger plot of the episode with or I guess not the bigger plot, but the whole cult, the plot, and all of that. But I remembered Harmony showing up, and I remembered the phone call with Willow very vividly, and it did not disappoint. This episode is comedic gold, and then I hate it towards the end. So it's range of emotions.
Penelope, what did you think revisiting the episode for the podcast?
I had to watch the 2 episodes before to figure out what was happening in context because I forgot why everybody was mad at Angel. Mm-hmm. Why is everybody mad at him, and why is Cordelia so upset? Because I think it's important to note that this particular episode is about why Cordelia was so open to this relationship with Harmony entering her life and her past with her high school friends and stuff like that, because I feel like she doesn't really look upon those times fondly.
Yes, I agree with that. Philip, what do you think revisiting it?
I mean, a Harmony episode is always going to be a lot of fun. It's just after, the really dark, sort of serialized arc where everyone's separated and Angel's acting so terribly. It's just a lovely breath of fresh air. Yeah. And it's an important episode. I mean, I remembered obviously the Harmony stuff. I remember the phone call with Willow. I remembered the sort of multi-level marketing subplot. But I had completely forgotten that this is the episode where basically everybody is really still hurting over Angel's behavior. And it's sort of a little connective bit where this is the episode where everybody kind of is getting him back in, and he has to eat shit a little bit before the team can all be a happy family again. So it's doing important work for the broader arc, but as a little one-off just to watch today, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I rewatched it today before I had my call with my therapist, and I was like, oh, this is fun. It is weirdly placed. I feel like it's kind of they could have put this anywhere, but Penelope, you made a really good point of it makes more sense why Cordelia is more likely to be yeah, we're friends again. We're cool. Let's paint each other's nails than she would have been earlier in the season, because she doesn't really she'll I feel like she kind of will make fun of how she was when she was in high school. And at this point, she's gone beyond that. We're already, right? I feel like she's had enough character development.
Yeah, I agree with it.
But sometimes it's nice to revisit. Usually when you have that little moment where you get to revisit high school or revisit a little moment, right? It's nice. And so it's nice that she would feel that. But and we'll get into it, but she's evolved past that. And so revisiting for the moment is nice, but, she's got to go back to work,
Yeah. Where Harmony's spilling on the keyboard.
Yeah. Oh God.
So funny.
So the thing I do like about this episode is Angel fucking eating shit. That's what I like. I like that Angel was kind of a dick, and now he's it's we open on Wes lecturing him about feelings, and then how it's torture for Angel to talk about feelings. I like seeing like someone who's not normally like all feelingsy have to like talk about it, especially like a character like Angel who's like, you know,
torture.
Yeah, this is Zach in this opening. But like, you know, an Angel's like more stiff and not as emotive. So I do like, I don't know. And then Cordelia's so upfront, right? I like seeing Cordelia be like, no, you were a dick. Fuck you. Like,
I mean, she straight up says, we're not friends. And she's being very direct with him. She has to protect her peace, you know?
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
And what I really enjoy about this episode is, you know, he says in the cold open, atonement's a bitch. And that's kind of, you know, the thesis of the entire show. But Angel is always atoning for sort of these, you know, huge, deadly sins of, you know, he's killed and he's caused great suffering and he's on this quest for redemption in a kind of a larger way. But we don't really see, other than maybe this episode and a few others, like him actually having to be really contrite and do the work, making it up to the people in his life.
Yeah.
And he's really bad at it.
Yeah. Like we never see him doing it on a smaller scale ever, which I think it's nice to see him. Like when he's talking to Wesley about getting her flowers and he doesn't even know how to go about it. He's like, what should I do? Like, should I get her flowers? Should I send her should I do anything for her? And Wesley's like, you hurt me too. Like you hurt my feelings too.
Yeah, where are my flowers, by the way?
Yeah.
I do. What does he say? He's like, oh, did you get me a like, sorry you got shot bouquet? And it's like, yeah, Wesley also did have some bad shit happen to him.
Yeah.
But you know, as my therapist told me today, straight men are often bad at talking about those things.
True.
And I also like seeing Wesley stepping up into like the leadership role because, you know, Zach, I feel like you and I a lot talked about in season 1 how annoying they made him. And so I feel like both him and Cordelia, after Angel left, kind of forced them to organically come into their own and be more comfortable taking the lead on shit, right?
Yeah, and it works. I'm still just not. I just think I'm not a natural Wesley fan. He's fun. I don't really have any shit talking to do about him, but he just doesn't sit with me. But I do think he fits into the larger office, you know, like he fits into that leadership role.
And it's really nice to see him be kind of like a voice of reason for Angel. You know, he's the one giving Angel.
Oh, he's sitting on Angel's shoulder. Yes.
Yeah, you know, he's like, you can't buy back someone's trust or affection. You just have to give them time. And it's just like, it's like,
which is like, a lie, apparently.
Well, I mean, we'll get there. But it's always like, Angel is the straight man who's terrible at, you know, at talking about his feelings. And so he turns to Wesley, his gay friend, for advice.
God, yes.
He should have been gay.
He should have been.
So
I might have liked him a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, then I would have. But so that's what I was going to ask, Zach. I wasn't sure because I've heard people say. I
just think me and Wesley don't gel. We're just we're not buddies, you know?
Well, no, I was going to ask, like, if it felt too much for you, like, if it didn't feel natural, but it does.
No. I think it does because we only have like a limited amount of characters around Angel right now, right? And I would rather it be Wesley than Kate come back in and try to do that. So I'm okay with this. This is fine. And I want Cordelia to be a little pissy with Angel, you know? Like I want her to give him a hard time for an episode, at least for an episode, right? And so she has like a vision, like they're having that conversation and then she has a vision. About the cage and the people and the big bird. And then when Gunn, like she like looks at Gunn and says, not the Muppet, dumbass. That was, it was like at the beginning, like the not the Muppet is like the classic Cordelia funniness, but the dumbass was really harsh, wasn't it? I thought it read a lot more like she is not in the greatest place. And that line really delivered it. I think Charisma did a really good job delivering that line because it wasn't the classic like funny Cordelia. It was like, I'm just not in the mood today. I'm not in the mood today.
Yeah. It's almost like she's hurting, so she's falling back on old behaviors. Like even before Harmony shows up, she's doing the brutal honesty thing that, you know, she was so good at in Buffy.
Oh, we needed a return for that. Yes, we needed it amped up to, you know, a couple more, but this was good.
Yeah, and I because I remember when talked to Evan Ross Katz. He felt that Cordelia was a little bit of a rewrite. I feel like Wesley's a little bit of a rewrite, but I feel like they both still work for me, the like character development. A thing that Cordelia, I mean, we'll get there at the end, but I like that Cordelia also has become, and we start the season with her going on the missions rather than them being like, she had a vision, she's going to stay here, we'll go out. But like this episode, we actually get to see her like in on the action, which I like. She's like got her 2 crossbows, she's not fucking around.
Which is like finally, right?
Yeah.
I almost wanted like a little montage of her just going out and rage killing, demons.
So yeah, she gets that vision. They all, the thing that I just said they don't do, but they do the thing where they all go out. Angel gives her the night off. And then who shows up, Penelope?
Harmony.
Yay.
It was so funny when she shows up too, because like she's doing the creepy thing that vampires do where she's like hiding and hunting her. And then she's like, oh, it's just me. Which I found so funny. I love her introduction in this particular episode because she is giving her like double meanings the entire time that they're having a conversation. She's like, oh yeah, change is good sometimes. Like telling her like, I am not a person anymore. I'm a vampire. Like
if anything was queer coded in the show, it's that.
She's just like, she said like, I'm not the same person that I was before. Like she just kept saying it over and over and over again. And I'm just like, dude, she's trying to tell you something.
Yeah, and even when Cordelia's like, do I have to say it? And she's like, kinda, yeah. And it's like, yeah, she won't be able to get into your house unless you say it.
Yeah, she just stood in the doorway.
And I like the way this, like, even if you weren't watching Buffy season 5, like, it still works, right? Like, I feel like the episode, it gives you enough of like the double entendres, and we at one point see Harmony turn into Vamp Face, so we know what Harmony's getting at, but like Cordelia doesn't, and I don't know, I do really like that. And I like that when she refers to her ex, she's like, oh, a type of ex I couldn't live without her, but really it's Spike who was like terrible to her.
Yeah.
And when I was watching this today, I couldn't remember. At first I was like, oh, is this like concurrently with season 4 of Buffy? And I was like, oh no, it's season 5. And I was like, okay, so like I was trying to remember exactly what Harmony's plot on Buffy was, and then when she would have left Buffy to come to Angel. And I was like, it doesn't actually really matter. All we need to know is she's a vampire and she was with Spike for a little bit.
Yeah. It feels more like season 4 though, doesn't it?
It does. When you said that, Philip, I was like, oh, was I wrong? It actually is season 4, isn't it? Because that makes sense, but no, it's not.
Okay, yes. So, where were we? Wesley, Angel, and Gunn are in the park. They have a little fight scene. And then, Wesley gives Angel that advice. And the thing is, I mean, this really hit home for me because I'm currently in the middle of a bit of a thing with a family member. So it's like when you've had a fight with somebody and you're doing everything you can to try and like just speed up and get back to where you were. Yeah. But like it just doesn't work that way. Like sometimes you just have to sit with things being uncomfortable and being awkward and giving that person the space they need.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's torture when you're on the wrong end of it, right? Like you were the one who did the wronging, and you have to sit with that and let everybody else process in their own time. Like that's torture.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it's like Angel is fine with atoning for rape and murder. It's just like hurting someone's feelings that he gets.
He's like lightly atoning for rape and murder. He just, he'll get over it in an episode or 2, maybe like a 3-arc episode, but like he'll be fine.
A 3-arc episode.
How many people has he killed truly, Rod?
I mean,
he owes them a lot of wardrobes, a lot of like shopping sprees.
I have to point out though, this is so random, but like when Gunn like grips up the vampire and pulls the hood down, and that's when they find out they're vamps, and he says, what do you go hiding such a pretty face for? I don't know why, but I was like, ooh, Gunn. Like, he's doing it for me.
I love him. He's like such a good addition to the group, I think. And I mean, spoiler, but like I love that he stays throughout the entire like show.
And he's like I mean, I guess like in the finale, depending on how he's like the only one of the additional crew that like makes it to that very end. Mm-hmm. So I like that we at least have someone who lasts that long.
This felt like Swifties attacking Chiefs fans for football tickets. If we're going to keep it in context with what's going on right now with Miss Swift and Mr. Kelsey.
I'm not you bringing up a football player on Slayerfest.
Everybody knows Travis Kelsey, at least. I'm pretty sure of that. I'll be.
I will be honest with you. I did not know him until this last week when he
exactly. Given the recent events, people now are familiar.
I hate that I know so much.
All of the robed vampires just reminded me of Swifties. So I just thought about it the entire episode.
But not Ashley, our editor, who is lovely and a Swiftie.
I was going to say, you're going to get emails now, Ian.
Yes. It's like I was talking to Ryan, and he was like, sometimes it feels like the people that get mad at you for the takes on the podcast are not even your takes. And I was like, yes, that is correct.
I feel like if you get mad at a podcast, you're likely the person that the podcast was talking about, so you just showed your ass. Maybe just keep quiet and,
I mean, so say you. Do you tell everyone that, Zach?
Angel wants to know how to get back in good with Cordelia.
Cordelia is at home reminiscing with Harmony, and this is such a cute scene, but it's also really illuminating because I feel like, you look back to see how far you've come, and Cordelia is really much more fulfilled in her new life. She hasn't got any of the material comforts that she used to, but she's doing rewarding work. Whereas Harmony is quite literally stuck in high school because she was turned on her graduation.
It's so sad, isn't it? She misses her humanity. She misses that little point where she felt like she had purpose in a future, and now she's dead. And rather than thinking, "Oh, I am going to live forever, I can literally do whatever I want," she's thinking, "I'm dead. I have no future. There's nothing for me." Right? And so she's trying really hard to get back to Sunnydale High School. It's also really wild when I watch these and they talk about we're just, not the people we thought we were going to be. I'm like, you have been out of high school for 2 years.
Yeah. Really?
Calm down.
I mean, it's like we've talked about this a lot, but they really do age up because my notes for when her and Harmony first see each other, it's like, oh, it's like that awkward conversation when it's like someone you did really like, but you just haven't hung out with or talked to in a long time. And I was like, these are, old friends. And it's like, oh no, it's only been a year and a half since they've seen each other. It's not 10 years. But it's always hard to remember that they are supposed to be 20, I think.
20 when they've just hit 30. Yeah.
It's the world of Angel, the show, is so separate from, the high school and college setting of Buffy that it's just I feel like everyone is 35.
Yes.
Every season is about 5 years gone by.
Yeah, only now that I'm 40 do I feel older than them. I feel like, up until even at 30, I was like, I still feel like these people feel older than me. Cordelia has a better career path at 20 than I do now.
She knows how to type on a computer. She's got it figured out.
Yeah, she does.
Detective agency. She still looks good. But yeah, no, Zach, I to your point, or whichever one of you said this, I wish we had gotten in this episode a little bit more of this, of them just being friends and hanging out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, give me you already know me. Give me a full episode of them doing nothing. I wanted a full Winnebago episode from season 5. I needed a full Harmony and Cordelia sleepover episode. And then we later on cut back to the boys and I'm like, fuck, really? Come on.
Give me the girls. I want to see what they're doing.
A little scene of them eating pizza would have been cute.
Yes, we didn't even get to see the pizza.
Yes.
I was like, that pizza sounds so cool. We don't have that here.
We did get the song. What was the song? The song was
the Cordelia.
Cordelia.
It's
so
was
good.
The man that's saying that? That's so creepy.
And it's so fun to have them filling in their relationship, right? Filling in how many years they've known each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's cute. It's we also never get this from Harmony either, right? Harmony's either just was background behind Cordelia or saying something shitty to Willow. And it's nice seeing her just I don't know.
Oh, I love when they pluck out a memorable, like, just background side character and give them something else to do, right? Like, that character should have just died as a part of Cordelia's posse, but she didn't. And she gets brought back, and then she gets brought back again, and then again, right?
Yeah. And I like, and like later when she's like, who would have thought, you're working for a detective agency and I'm dead.
We're not there yet. She thinks she's a lesbian first.
Right. So then
so funny. That scene is so funny.
Philip, lead us.
So Harmony goes into Cordelia's bedroom at night. We get a little cameo from Phantom Dennis slamming the door shut to wake up Cordelia. And Harmony is giving all of these double meaning lines about, these urges and Cordelia looking so luscious. And I feel like it's the kind of joke that would feel lazy if they made it now. But I mean, it's a funny bit. And what I like is the joke isn't that Harmony's gay. Like, Cordelia isn't reacting homophobically. She actually is very accepting. The joke is that Cordelia is oblivious.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which is so great because it carries on later into the conversation with Willow, and it just all seamlessly goes together. Like, it's perfect. It's good comedy.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask what you all thought, because I know that now it's dated, but I do think it works, right?
It's not Angel making the joke. It's Cordelia making the joke. It works better.
Somehow, she's allowed to.
She can say faggot.
She's allowed. Because I really do like it. I know it's kind of silly and whatever, but Philip, to your point, it really is the joke isn't it isn't a joke on gay people. It's a joke on Cordelia's fully oblivious. And I was wondering what we all thought, because I know we know where the end goes, but I do think Harmony likes Cordelia, in the way
she could. They look hot together as a couple. If you just muted the scene and let the scene play in silence, it looks like a couple in a horror movie, a lesbian couple in a horror movie having a conversation about bumps in the night. It looks so good. They look great together.
But right, and I do think I don't think Harmony was bullshitting when she was she didn't want to bite her, right? Because she does care about her. And I wish we would have been able to keep that energy up for the whole episode. But yeah, is it right after that, Philip, that then we cut to Cordy on the phone with Willow?
Oh, it's so good. So Harmony says, "Oh, I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell anyone," and Cordelia says, "Oh, it's our secret," and then it cuts right to her on the phone to Willow. And we're like, "Why didn't you tell me about Harmony?" It's so funny.
Also hilarious that, without Cordelia knowing about Willow's status, that she instinctively is let me call Willow Rosenberg, the girl I know with the most lesbian energy.
And these are little cameos that I wish they did more of, because I like this, right? I feel oh yeah, she's just calling one of her old friends that knows Harmony. So she's calling to gossip about the info she just got that she said she would not gossip about. And I like Willow being it's very, this is them in season 3 of Buffy, where it's they're cool, but Willow's still kind of annoyed with her, right?
I really like that the only one from high school Cordelia is still in touch with is Willow, because she wouldn't be calling Buffy about this.
No.
She doesn't like Buffy. I think she respects Buffy and what she does, but I think that's also why she called Willow, because she's not going to call Xander.
Right.
And she's not going to call Buffy. So there's only one person to call.
That is true. I don't know. I wish we could have gotten a few more Cordelia's giving her a phone call, or maybe she was
some
for lunch.
Check-ins, right? There's plenty of occasions to check in with each other. And I love that they are at different levels of serious. Willow is oh shit, Harmony's there. And Cordelia's yeah, you don't know what's up with Harmony. Different levels of serious. They finally get on the same page, and Willow's wait, she's a vampire, right? We're both talking about Harmony being a vampire. And Cordelia's oh, yeah. Of course.
I have two things to say about this scene, actually. One is it's really broad comedy that Angel doesn't normally do. And I just like to think that, that alternate reality in season 3 where Cordelia has her own sitcom. I imagine that this is going to be like.
Yeah, oh, perfect. Yes.
She's so funny. Secondly, Cordelia reacts so much better to Harmony and Willow being lesbians than Buffy did when Willow came out. Yet again, Cordelia is better than Buffy.
No, I will log off. I will click X out of the Zencaster. We are not doing this debate tonight.
But I do like that she's like kind of being jokey, and I like that we don't even need to see Willow saying, "Wait, I'm gay," because we know Willow's gay, and I just like Cordelia.
But that was that a network thing? Do you think they wouldn't let?
I was wondering that too.
Okay,
because like I feel like back then, because Willow never actually says when she comes out, right? Isn't it just like, and there's Tara? Like she comes out clearly, but she doesn't.
I remember rewinding those episodes and looking for the moment where she says, "I'm gay" or something like that, and it never happened.
Use the word gay until like season 5.
Yeah. So I could see it being a network thing, but I do appreciate just seeing Cordelia because it's like the show Angel, it's not Buffy. So
it still works. Yeah, it works.
And so I do like we cut back to Willow and she's like, "Thanks for the affirmation." Like, and like I really just wish we could have gotten more cameos like this. I know like eventually they split seasons and whatever, or split networks. But like, I think this is very comic booky, and I like that. I like that it's like, sometimes you just call someone you haven't seen in a while, and you have a 2-second conversation to catch up about some little thing, and that's it.
And as like a Buffy fan, you get so excited watching something like that on TV, right? Just like your faves popping up.
Yes,
like, I remember this is going to be a terrible reference, by the way. Forgive me. At the end of Seventh Heaven ended. It was supposed to have its final season, right? And I was so excited when Mary popped up at the very end. And it's just those little like moments, when you see, you recognize people.
I have never watched Seventh Heaven, but yes,
you don't ever need to. It's not a show to watch.
It's like when at the end of Neighbours, Kylie Minogue and Jason Donovan.
It's just got that nostalgia boner.
I do love it. Then Angel. We cut to Angel. They get a call from Willow. What, Zach?
It's just Angel. It kills the vibe. We had so much momentum going, and then we cut back to the boys.
I do love that. Like, he gets a call from Willow, and they leave immediately, burst in the door, and they're doing what, Philip?
Oh my god, they are painting each other's toenails. It is the cutest thing, and Cordelia is like, "What do you think you're doing?"
Get away from her foot. It was so good.
And like, I do like that. I don't know. I mean, Harmony is always a little bit of like a gray area in like, I feel like Harmony and Clem both, which makes sense in the comics, they had them like work together, like kind of make up a gray area that Angel does better of showing you like, not all the time the demons are like murderous monsters. Like sometimes they're just like, I want to eat some snacks. I want to hang out. And I like that. I like being like, she is a bloodthirsty demon, but also she's like, I'm having fun.
She's still a baby vamp. She's a baby vamp. Like she hasn't had anybody teach her how to, quench that thirst for blood. Like when she starts describing blood later, like she is fucking hungry for it, right? And that's just natural. That is her natural instinct. But everybody's so shitty to her. I cannot stand how shitty people are about her in this episode, especially with that motherfucker Angel standing right there. Like, don't tell me anything.
He just spent the last 10 episodes being a complete
just being moody. And then what has he done in the past? Gone full evil and tried to kill everybody, right? Let's not forget those things. Harmony is painting toenails.
Harmony is painting.
She's not doing anything. And I think the funniest part is Wesley telling Cordelia she's an unholy monster, she's evil, and no offense, and Harmony's about what?
And then just cuts to her sitting there with her big blonde hair and
looking like a little dainty flower. I couldn't even hurt a fly.
And you have to somebody who's that new to being a vampire, right? They're gonna have those urges and all that, but give her a little bit of grace and help her. Expect that she's going to slip up a little bit, right? Like, because she is got demon in her now. Just expect that she's going to slip up, be there to help her and kind of guide her. Because when you toss her out into the street, into the gutter, like, what signal does that send her? That sends her, oh, well, my found family maybe needs to be a bunch of vampires that needs to slaughter LA then.
Right. Right.
Okay, so then basically we are back in the office and they are trying to give Harmony, a chance. Angel is doing it just to suck up to Cordelia. And I find it so funny that Wesley immediately loses his temper and tries to stake her because she...
This being the thing that he loses it over is just hilarious. Like, having her in the mix for this little bit is perfect. Because also, ending the last scene, she's afraid of the fucking ghost. I died.
Yeah.
And then Wesley trying to stake her over putting the gum in a ripped page of his book.
So, like,
I want to be home alone with a ghost.
I mean, I wouldn't either. I'd probably be scared too.
Yeah, it's just funny because she's like a vampire,
But ghosts are still spooky. I bet she like watches Ghost Adventures and, she's got her spooky things still.
And I think this is a fun role for Wesley to be able to be in. Because we haven't, like, aside from like him and Cordelia when they were bickering at the beginning of the season, when it was like a little bit too much, it makes sense that he would be annoyed with her, right? Like, it makes sense that someone like Harmony would fully hit all of his buttons. And also, I feel like I am Harmony when I'm trying to help with anything. Like,
oh God.
Somehow, Zach, like, you are Wesley in this scene.
Anytime I'm trying to teach Ian how to do anything, it gets to this point. It always gets to this point.
Where Zach's about to stake me and his husband has to hold him back.
Stake through the screen, too.
And I just love that, like you said, Penelope, she's so, like, what are you talking about? I don't know. Like, she's so, like, whatever about it all. And, like, when I forget, when Wesley's like, do you mind? And she's like, I'm kind of bored, but no, go on.
Yeah, she's just so clueless. I mean, I think that's the one thing that I appreciate they kept with her is, like, she was clueless as a human.
Yeah.
And they kept it along as her vampire persona too. She just, like, doesn't know what's going on at any moment. Like, when we fast forward to them going to that cult, like, I'm here guarding the car. Like, I don't know. This is all I want to do. I want to guard the car, which is, like, not a job.
Right.
Nothing's going to happen to the car.
And, like,
it's just so funny.
And I feel like this episode, it's wild that, like you said, Zach, they plucked a, like, side character out of obscurity. I mean, they made her a vamp in season 5 or season 4 of Buffy, but, like, it's wild that, like, Mercedes McNabb is so good. It makes sense that she becomes a main character or, like, a reoccurring character in season 5 of Angel, because, like, this whole episode borders on, like, you being charmed by Harmony or not, right? And it works. Like, we know she's bad. We know she's a vampire, but it's still, like, fun to watch her.
And it's perfect that, in season 5, after Cordelia is no longer around, that, the character they bring in to kind of bring in some levity and more, like, a bit of femme joy is Harmony, because she is just Cordelia if Cordelia had gone on a different path.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason they were friends in high school.
Right. I also like that when Angel's like, I'm going to get you some blood, and they little bit, like, kind of have a little bit of a talk, right? I mean, it's not anything wild, but I do like that he's, like, giving her pig's blood, and she's like, how do you handle the cravings? And, it's to the point that y'all were making, like, she didn't have anyone to, like, teach her how to be a vampire.
But that's a good example, is like, that's the moment where he then reminds her, but in order to get that warm blood, that that fresh blood, you have to hurt somebody, and there's ripple effects to that. Like, that's his teachable moment there. And he's fucking drops it.
Yeah, I think that shows us how Angel is always, like, one track minded. Like, he's just, like, so concerned with what Cordelia thinks of him at this moment that he's, like, looking past helping Harmony, because he had every opportunity to do so and he just didn't.
He has a thing for blonde girls and, damsels. Like, Harmony's blonde. She's in front of you. You gotta do something.
He really does.
It's true.
It's like it's his internalized homophobia. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's totally what it is.
He does get called a gay man in this episode, so
He does,
I'm going to
he
stick
does.
with that. I'll die on the hill.
Listen, him and Spike, man. And I do like when Gunn walks in that she's immediately like flirty and like waves at him. It's like, girl, I get it. And I like when he finds out she's a vampire and he's like, don't we kill him anymore? Like,
he's like so annoyed. He even thought she was hot. He's like, God damn it. For 1 second.
Yeah. And like, they find, and I do appreciate that the pyramid vampire scheme is kind of like barely a C plot in this.
It's so good.
Like,
right?
it's a nice way of like expanding on Harmony's story. She's always been a follower, not a leader.
Yeah.
Like if this were made today, she'd be getting radicalized on like a pyramid selling Facebook group.
Yes, she is absolutely selling LuLaRoe.
Do you all know that I like people reference that a lot? I've only like in this year had 2 like women I used to like hang out with in my early 20s message me on Facebook about shit like that, and I was like,
oh really? Like trying to recruit you?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is what everyone's.
What do they say? That's crazy. Hey, I saw your mom died. Do you want to become a girl boss?
It's okay. We can laugh about it.
What a horrible cold open, though. Like why are you?
Well, there's a sparkle
that?
emoji there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, and like, someone messaged me about it, and I was like, oh, this is weird. What is? And I was like reading it, and I was like, what is this? Oh, right, this is all the shit everyone's talking. No, I'm not selling anything. I just didn't respond. But yeah, so I appreciate that it's like, it is kind of like a fun take on, not something we've seen from vampires before in this universe.
Oh, it's fun. Turn 2, the rest is food. Like, I love that they even have a mission statement.
Yes. But I also appreciate that, like, you can take or leave this plot because it's mostly about like Cordelia, Harmony, and Angel and like the relationship. And like you said, Zach, I feel like you and I always are like, yes, give us more of them just being like friends and having fun. I even liked seeing them do the research because I liked seeing Harmony annoying the shit out of Wesley. It's like fun to watch, right?
So if she spills something on the keyboard, that wouldn't have done that to that computer, right?
No.
Okay.
I had the exact same thing written down in my notes.
Yeah, I have what I have. Harmony accidentally pours her blood on the keyboard and it sparks. LOL. I feel like every show back then did this because that does not happen. I've spilled shit on a keyboard.
I feel like that is shitty Angel Investigations equipment there, and they need to just upgrade anyway.
But it does mean like it's Wesley's like, get her out of here, get her out of my sight, and it leads us to one of the best moments in the episode, which is Harmony doing karaoke.
So great.
I love that that's the buy-in to be on this show. Like, that's your hazing moment, is everybody has to do a moment of karaoke. And she gets so into it that she is trying to decide between both versions of Candle in the Wind, and Cordelia's like, do both. And she's like, fantastic idea. Yes. Wonderful.
I love that when Lauren is talking to her and she's like, cacophony, that's pretty. What's it mean?
It's a beautiful name.
So good. And she's like just so genuine about it that like, I don't know, I feel like it's impossible not to be charmed, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I will never not find it funny when someone is bad at singing.
Yes.
Because that's the actor. That has to, like, that's just the actor. They're just like, do it. And she did. And she said, I can't sing. They're like, it's fine. Nobody else can either.
Yeah. I feel like Darla and Lindsay are the two that like actually can sing. And
I didn't think Darla sang all that great. I'm just steak meat.
Well, I mean, no one's as good a singer as you, Zachary.
Yeah, I'm damn straight.
So and when I love when she's like, you stay here, are you okay? And Harmony's like, free blood and potato skins? Sure. Like,
she wants so little. She's just like, she's brand new in the world.
She like, She just wants some friends and some blood and some potato skins. You know, that sounds
exactly.
sounds
But
nice.
then they do go out. They head out, and she is like right there, and I fucking love that. I like died. I cackled.
It's such a funny visual gag.
And then she puts herself between Angel and Cordelia. And she's like, like, you know, she would have had a photo shoot set up within the week for Angel Investigations. They would have been taking pictures. Like, give her something to do. Let her do PR or something.
She would have been so good at that.
She would have been. And like, she could have done PR with like the other vampires or like the demon community.
I like to think that she's a friend. She's friends with Alexis Rose. Like, they became besties.
Also, Zach, that's me with you and Alistair being like, let's have fun. And I'm like between the two of you.
It's okay. You can be Harmony. That's fun. I love Harmony.
Also, when they originally cut to the gang and it's like that epic, like, we're going into battle music. And then the cut to her is just like, really gets me. And then she's just so excited. And like, they park and they look for the big bird. And I like this conversation between Angel and Cordelia. I just wish Cordelia didn't end up being wrong at the end. Because he's like, she'll turn on you. And she said, why? Because you did? Because he did, right?
Oh,
like,
I got so hype over this discussion and him putting Harmony down and Cordelia really defending her and, you know, going deeper into their relationship. And like, it was fucking perfect. And it's totally undone by the end. Like, I'm so pissed at how that end went.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
But also it's very funny when she's like, imagine if you had gone off the deep end and slept with Darla. And he's like, oh, I would never do that.
Philip, I didn't remember that detail that he doesn't tell them.
He doesn't tell them until Darla shows up, spoiler alert, pregnant next season.
And then he's like, I gotta tell you something. I might be on the hook for some child support. I don't know.
He almost tells Wesley in the episode right before. He's like, guess what? Like,
oh, right.
Guess why this happened. And Wesley is so mad at him that he like doesn't say it. But I feel like if he would have told him that he slept with her, they would have like never became friends again.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He would have been like, why the fuck did you do that? Like, were you trying to lose your soul? Because that's not cool, man.
Yeah.
That's not chill of you.
He just doesn't have any room to talk here.
No.
Yeah.
He really does. And then, like, clearly, and again, like you said, Zach, that's why I do hate that he's kind of right about her, but like,
But he should have been right in a different way, right?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Like, she should have been like, you know, it's really tempting. Like, she could totally get swept up in a MLM. Like, I see it. But she should have come out and been like, you know, they're offering me some really good stuff, so you guys have to offer me something good too, because I could be a level 3 if I lure you guys in, right?
Yes.
Or something like that. I don't know, but like the way it plays out is just so dirty. And these shows always do the girls so dirty.
I do.
And like, it's kind of perfect that the evil woman who peaked in high school gets sucked into a pyramid scheme.
I mean, yeah, that is.
Maybe she could have led the pyramid scheme and done something different, right? Something a little bit more PC or whatever the hell. I don't know.
I think if she stayed in there in that little cult, I think she would have been able to run it herself.
Yes.
I do like the idea of her running a fucking cult.
She like earns enough to get a pink Corvette or whatever that used to be that the Mary Kay ladies would get.
Was it really a Corvette?
It was like some sort of pink convertible car.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. Maybe I could be sucked into one. I don't know. Saying like a car.
Ian starts like messaging those ladies back.
Actually, I am. You're right. My mother did die, and I am interested in doing this. So Cordelia then has the idea that because Angel can't go in because they would know him, that Harmony will be their spy. And so she goes in. We see her sitting in the crowd. We see her clapping. We kind of like, this is when we like get the like quick rundown on the pyramid scheme, right? Like the guy comes out, gives his little speech.
She gets a book, Selective Slaughters. I thought that was nice.
I do like, it also makes sense from what we'd seen from Harmony. And again, I don't love it, but it does make sense from what we'd seen of Harmony. Like when her and Spike break up and she's like, I think it's season 4 or 5 of Buffy, when she does say, I've been skimming a lot of books. And it's like, she's been skimming like self-help books and like dating books and like, just like recites the verbiage in those books, but isn't really like saying anything. So it made sense that like this kind of like talk would appeal to
like
her.
10 minutes in a, a presentation. She would absolutely be buying a timeshare, like it would be easy to get her. And I think this could have been like a funny little plot, right? They send Harmony in undercover. That's her role. She fails at it. And they're like, okay, next time you don't get to be undercover. You watch the car next time. That would have been a funny little joke, right? Instead of like, get out of my fucking city. And she's like, damn, can I get my stuff?
Yeah, but she doesn't kill her, which I think is like a recurring thing with Harmony, because in Buffy, she also like she gets told to leave too, and like Harmony just doesn't die. Like people don't want to kill her.
She's just burning bridges from city to
and
city.
A nuisance, but she's not as like when Willow was like, she's dangerous. I'm like, okay, well, if she was super dangerous, like you guys would have killed her.
Right.
So has everybody seen the entirety of Angel here?
Yes.
Okay. She doesn't die in the last season, does she? She's alive by the end?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, because she's in the comics too, right? She gets a reality show. Okay, that's right. I mean,
not to be fucking rude, but it's like a bit of a reversal from this episode where Harmony works in an office and Cordelia is dead.
That is rude. Not to be rude, but I'm being real fucking rude.
Thank you guys for coming. Where can everybody find you?
Pumpkin swinging.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, so while she's in there, it's like they think that she's betrayed them, but she has, but then she comes out to get them. And it's the fucking trap. I feel like this is something you usually comment on, Zach. I like the way it's filmed in that stage. I think it looks cool. Like the lighting and like it's dark and they turn on the lights and like it's a good like set to film, right?
It's a fun one. It's got budget. I'm still always bitter about the budget this show got versus Buffy.
I truly do not understand that. Charisma Carpenter has told me when she was on that they always went over budget on Angel, so they're always afraid they were going to be canceled because of that. And I don't.
But we couldn't get a full episode on a Winnebago. That's just it doesn't make sense to me.
Like I don't understand how the spinoff show was able to get the budget while the other show was still on the air and the other show didn't. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, Harmony brings them in, and she gives her some kind of speech, like Cordelia like gets mad at her and she's like, that hurts personal growth and I don't respond to mental roadblocks. Just love it. Like she's betraying them, but still like, no, don't be negative with me.
And it just undoes everything that like Horty and Harmony had been talking about as far as like purpose and where are you going? And high school is better, right? And Cordelia being like, no, I have purpose here. I know what I'm doing, right? Like this would have been the opportunity at the end of the fight for Harmony to be like, listen, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What do I do? And Cordelia being like, I don't know either. I'm still figuring myself out as well, but I can be here for you. And you don't have to, and then joke, insert joke, but like to fucking like threaten her with the damn crossbow and tell her to get out of town is just, I'll never get over this.
I'll never forgive them for this.
It's devastating. It's devastating.
I mean, how many times have other people gotten like multiple chances? I mean, like even Faith is human, came back, tried to kill everybody, and Angel forgives her and then tries to help her, and then she goes back to help Buffy. So I'm just like, this could have been an opportunity for Cordelia to be like, I can help you if they wanted this to happen, but no.
Slayer, come out and die.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Harmony. She's the most dangerous one, really.
I do like, though, that at least Cordelia does spare her. It's a bit like, it reminded me of what they do with Vampire Willow in Doppelgangland, where Willow's like, well, she's like, she's just following her nature.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's a grace extended to the vampire whose face you recognize. And it's great because it's like she's a vampire, but also Harmony is kind of helpless, and she admits she's never been good at being evil, and that's because she is I think Cordelia called her a sheep in like season 2 or 3 of Buffy.
Yeah.
She's she needs to be told what to do, so she can never truly be dangerous.
Mhm.
So it's like you can almost like, it doesn't feel weird, you know, to know at the end of the episode that Cordelia has let a bloodthirsty vampire like go free, because it's like, well, how much damage can she really do?
Yeah,
True.
it's just if certain vampires still get to live and get spinoffs, then Harmony should live too. And I'm glad she gets her reality show in the end.
Certain vampires, Angel.
Well, I feel like Harmony and Spike, season 5 when we were covering it, I don't know if you remember this, Philip. I remember Ira Madison saying like James Marster still being on the show, even though we love Spike, like very much felt like, oh, because this is a character. Like it didn't feel like it made sense that he was still alive. Like Spike would have been killed.
Oh, it was 100%. A bit like Mercedes McNabb in this episode. It's just like, we really like this actor. They're great. They have chemistry with everyone. Let's just keep them around.
Well, because then inversely, I remember saying that, and Trixie Mattel at the end of the season being like, yeah, but that's TV. That's just how TV works. They like an actor. They don't want to kill the character. So they keep them around. And like, I guess that makes sense. And I can appreciate that Cordelia just didn't want to kill her because it was like, oh, this is someone I know. We were close. She's not that dangerous. Also, I need to point out, I think they both look fantastic in this final act. The two of them.
And I do love that, like, Harmony comes in and she is like full, like, femme, delicate, like, girly Barbie-core fashion.
Yeah.
And like, it's in contrast, like, Cordelia is almost like a little soft butch and like a bit more toned down, just to show like the difference between them and like the journey that Cordelia is on.
Yeah. And I think the like soft butch works for Cordelia. She pulls it off. I like that.
Yeah, she looks great. I mean, she looks great all the time.
Right.
I think all her outfits are cute.
Yeah. Yeah. I also, I mean, I am curious what you all think. I really liked seeing Cordelia when she like points the crossbow at Harmony, and Harmony's like, you know, that won't kill me. And she's like, no, it'll hurt like hell, but this one will kill you, and pulls out the other crossbow. I love seeing Cordelia get to be in on the action, but it is like, I don't know. It doesn't bother me, but I could see an argument for like, well, she's never done this before. Where did this come from? I don't know. What did you all think?
I mean, she should have been doing this already if she hadn't, right?
Yeah.
And I think, like moving forward, they sort of, she's in the background of the big group fight scenes more and more. And then obviously in season 3, I think Angel starts to train her properly.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a nice moment that, you know, the first vampire that she really tussles with is, you know, an easy win like Harmony.
True. I guess that plays back into like how much harm could she do, because it's Harmony. Yeah.
Yeah, like she would kill her either way. I mean, she would wound her either way, but not. I don't know if she would kill her. Like, who knows? You know. No,
I think you're right. I think like Cordelia would feel bad, I think, if she had like killed her. But Penelope, does it like bother you that Cordelia suddenly go with crossbows, or is like that like not matter?
No, because I don't know if she would have shot her. I think she maybe would have shot her in the throat, but I don't think she would have tried to kill her because she gave her that second chance.
That's true. Yeah.
I think she feels for her, which is why she invited her over, which is also why, like, when she found out she was a vampire, she sat down and started doing her nails, you know? So there's still, like, that piece of her that, like, wants to believe that if she lets Harmony go, that Harmony will find her way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah. I guess also that plays into, like, how in Graduation Day, Cordelia states a vampire, and Charisma Carpenter talked about this when I had her on, and she said that, like, she asked Joss, she said, Cordelia's been on the Hellmouth for this long. She would know how to stake a vampire. Can I stake a vampire in the finale? Mm-hmm. And he said yes. And that's the only, like, she asked to have Cordelia do that. And I think that's a smart point too, right? Like, I'm not capable with a fucking crossbow, but maybe if I lived on a Hellmouth where there's like a zillion vampires and
she would have learned how to stake a vampire. And then going to LA, she would have had she probably would have kept a stake on her.
Yes.
She would have turned into Buffy, keeping a stake on her. And then after she fully becomes involved with Angel investigations, the reason her and Harmony were friends is because they were a little like-minded. And I feel like they both would have gone and, found out how to fight. Like Cordelia would have gone and taken classes on how to fight, and that would have been like, a little joke she makes or something, but she would have known how to fight. And it's just weird that it took this long for her to, I don't know, pull a crossbow on anybody. And of course it has to be Harmony. It couldn't be some random vamp we get in episode 1, maybe. Got to rip our girls apart.
It is a bummer that like this is one of the last times they interact, and then once in when Cordelia comes back in season 5, but even then Cordelia's like, we're not friends. Like they hug. They would have
stayed. They would have stayed friends. They would have stayed friends. They would have built a friendship. Cordelia didn't have any other girlfriends. And you're not going to tell me that she would have been better friends with Fred than she would have been with Harmony. Absolutely not. And Harmony could have been like a cute little side character who like starts like an agency like in She-Devil, Vesta Rose, and, is helping women to get jobs.
I like that specific reference, Zach.
It's something that I was thinking when I was watching it today is like this lovely like girlfriend dynamic that they have. Angel is such a self-serious masculine show, and we never really see like women just like getting to be women with each other, and we never even really see it with Cordelia and Fred. Like I know that they're friends,
right,
but they are also like in the group together.
Right.
Like Cordelia and Fred don't ever really, go off and have little fun adventures together. So it was just like a nice moment of real, sort of. This was one for the girls.
The girls and the gays.
I agree. I mean, the other time she got to hang out with her friends was that episode that we did together.
Oh yeah,
where she like goes out to the club, and then like it's only like I think a very short moment where she's having fun, and then she is on a date with this guy, and that's where the story goes.
Yeah. And I think in season 1 she mentions that the friends, she mentions them like once or twice, and I agree with you, Zach. It would have been nice to see Cordelia have these like side character friends.
They put her on the poster on the DVD cover for every single season that she was on. Right, she was right next to Angel. She should have had. He didn't have anything to do. He wasn't fucking ever doing anything. He wasn't hanging out with friends. Give her the plot of like Social Hour,
Yeah.
Let us see her outside of Angel, because all we see is her sitting at home with Dennis the Ghost, right? That's all. That's her only friend in life.
But so I do also like that after she tells Cordelia to leave, and Harmony's like, there's some things that she's like, leave. I was like, let her get her shit, but...
I know. Well, Dennis already threw it out. He already put it on the front porch.
Dennis had it fly out the door.
Dennis does not like Harmony.
I do like that she doesn't even look at him, but Angel appears behind her, and she's like, not a fucking word. Like, she like says something like, don't say anything.
Oh, I would have been fucking livid. Like, if I was already mad him not saying anything. Had he said something, though, it's just, TV comes off the wall and goes across the room, because... Just don't. Go get a haircut, cut your hair, look presentable, and shut the fuck up, Angel.
Because she already knows. She knows he's lurking, like he always is.
Mm-hmm. And Zach, that would have been when you finally quit doing Angel coverage.
It was close. I was close. I was waiting.
So then, we cut to the hotel. Angel has his meeting with... I love everything about this scene. Angel has his meeting with Wesley. And he's, you got to give her time. You got to, blah, blah, blah. And then we hear Cordelia scream from the other room. And why is that, Zach?
Because he gave her clothes. It's a nice callback to earlier when she's like, she's bringing up her things. She's like, you got rid of my clothes. And he's like, I gave them to the homeless. She's like, really? I'm fucking struggling. I live with a ghost. And he gets her clothes. I don't. So I'm okay with this scene, and I'm not okay with this scene, because I'm okay with it because I like the callback, right? I'm not okay with it because it's like, I haven't seen the next episode yet, but she's like, all better. I got clothes. I'm, I guess that solves everything for me. No.
It's also a callback to how Xander gets her to forgive him because he buys her the prom dress.
Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little sweeter, though. Is it? I'm trying to think back. I'm like, is there something wrong with that? I thought that was a little sweeter though, right? This one is just very much like she ends the episode not only having Angel have been right, losing her friend, and still having all of the feelings that were attached with everything that happened with Angel, but all of that's undone because she's like, okay, I got new clothes, I'm fine, right? Like, no,
yeah,
it's annoying.
I don't like that. It's sort of, it's a hint that like, oh, after spending some time with Harmony, she's gone back to being this materialistic, sort of simpler person who can be bought. But I think it was just a case of like that we need a funny button on the episode, and also we need to get back to the status quo of everyone being cool with each other.
Yeah.
It was just like a really kind of slightly lazy way to fast forward.
Maybe make it a little subtler then and be like, it's a start or something like that, right? Just like give us a little hint that she is still going to be able to process stuff and not just sweep everything under the rug. Even if I need to imagine in between episodes that she processed it, right? But the immediate sort of, okay, I got clothes, we're okay now. Like, I just...
And not to trigger you, Zach, but Angel has such a shit-eating grin on his face in that scene.
He does.
He's so smug.
I like that, though. I like that, like, she's, like, dancing around and he's dancing around, but I like it because I like them. And this, for me, this is the start of, like, their relationship that never happens, that should have happened. It's, like, very much... He starts to actually pay attention to her. And like know what to do that will like, because I think Philip, I don't know if you remember, isn't it like one of the next episodes when he like buys her every coffee because he doesn't know like which one she'll like. So he buys her like 10 to bring her like, because he's still like groveling a little.
That's cute.
I was going to say, is that sweet or is it just like he's never paid attention to how she has a
Yeah.
But he's like trying.
The man is on the floor.
Yeah,
it really is.
And I do like that she says he has a gay man's taste. Cordelia's allowed to say that, it's fine.
I do like that he didn't, push back on it. That he just kind of went with it and smiled, right?
Yeah.
At least he didn't say anything to that.
Yes. I think that's what I like is that I do think he's genuinely happy. And I mean, mostly because he's forgiven, but I think it's like, this is the start for me of him being like, oh, I do really care about this person. Like I think it's like him being so shitty and like the angst with Darla and all that bullshit, like recontextualizes his relationship.
He needs to find people his own age to hang out with. These are his coworkers.
Yeah, I agree. I also I liked when him and Cordelia develop a relationship, but I also feel like she's too good for him. And that's just my opinion.
Oh, yes.
That's just my opinion.
Yes.
But I just I don't know, because he doesn't ever really apologize for things. Mm-hmm. So when he's mean, he's just like, yeah, I mean, this is just my personality. So you guys should just accept it because I'm always brooding and I'm always bleh.
What does he say? Sorry, Giles, for killing Jenny. Here's a pair of slacks. Leaves it on his front door.
I mean,
he did give him a present. Here's the picture I drew of her.
Jesus Christ. Hilariously, when I've been fixing up this room, because Fuse TV just always plays Buffy, I put on an episode. I don't remember which one it was, but my best friend Kevin, who has only been through Buffy, I think once, but has had to watch a million episodes because we live together. Jenny Challenger came on screen. He was like, "Oh, she's toast soon, right?" And I was like, "Don't say it like that."
You've had enough time to process. This is over 25 years, Ian. Calm down.
That's why we are still talking about it, Zachary, because Ian does not process. But yeah, I mean, I like the ending, but I do see everyone's critiques of it. Also, Penelope, I will say I do understand what you mean about. I just like them because I think they work well with each other, but it is kind of I know a lot of people that date someone and it's why are you dating this person? They suck. And I could definitely see Cordelia being one of my friends that I'm out at a bar with and I'm God, her boyfriend's so boring.
Why is he mad all the time? Why doesn't he ever smile? Why does he hate everybody?
Why is he wearing that fucking long ass leather coat in July? What is going on here?
I know he's sweaty under there.
We are in LA. It is 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Angel Boreanaz, man.
Now that we're at the end, but before we give our little gradings, I forgot to do it at the top of the episode. We have a Patreon that I would appreciate anyone who can and is interested in subscribing to. We are going through Batman the Animated Series, X-Men the Animated Series. We have Watch Alarms. We have Buffy Out of Context, where we discuss random episodes of Buffy. We also are covering Buffy Season 3 for the 25th anniversary, where the full episode goes up on the Patreon and a shorter version will go up in our podcast feed sometimes. So if you want to hear all those, subscribe to our Patreon. You also get access to our Discord and Facebook group and some watch-alongs and Zooms we do. Okay, so favorite scene, Zachary?
Ooh, I'm going to do a combination of scenes. Any scene with Cordelia. You know what? At Cordelia Willow's phone call, I think that trumps all of the Cordelia Harmony scenes, sadly. It's too funny.
It is.
I kind of love that.
Yeah.
Penelope?
I really like when Harmony's talking to Angel and he's telling her about the pig's blood and she's like, well, that's going to go straight to my hips. I just don't think vampires can gain weight, but yeah. I really like it. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Philip?
I think for me, it's the scene where Angel and Wesley come barging into the apartment when the girls are painting each other's toenails, and Wesley calls Harmony a filthy monster, and he's like, "No offense," and she's like, "About what?" And it's just everybody and Angel is kind of like overcompensating and trying to sort of curry favor with Cordelia, and everyone is just being so funny. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, my favorite scene is a tie. It's them barging in on Cordelia and Harmony painting their toenails, and Cordelia calling Willow, because I love it. Really wish we had gotten more of those cameos. Favorite outfit, Penelope?
Oh, maybe I think the one where she comes in and sees Cordelia. I love the red leather pants and her hair slicked back. It's such a good look.
I feel like that was big back then, right? The slick back look.
Yeah. I mean, it looks great on her too. She has big enough hair.
Yeah. Philip?
So I love that outfit too. It's very, that's her Buffy season 5 look when she's trying to be a girl boss.
Yeah.
I think it's what she wears later in the episode. It's the lilac halter top and the light pants, and there's a little jacket, and it's just super cute.
Yeah. Zach?
I'm going to agree with Penelope. I think that outfit she first shows up in, it feels like, she's done her girl boss moment and she's taken a cue from Buffy, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to LA, and it's perfect on her.
She's like, I like those red leather pants Buffy wore. I'm going to wear them.
She got them from her house.
I think mine is Cordelia's outfit at the end. I love those gray pants and the white jacket that's not too tight fitting, but it's not super loose either. And I think it's cute that she still has the baby doll tank top underneath. So when she's lifting up her arms, you see a little midriff. It looks cute. And she's looking great. But also I do tie is I really like Harmony's, the same thing you said, Philip, the outfit she wears at the end. That her jacket's a bright dark purple and shiny. I don't think it's leather. It looks almost like that weird plasticky cloth material.
It's like a vinyl or something. Yeah.
I really I think those colors. I love that it's so many different, it's the bright purple, the pinkish, the baby blue pants. It's so many colors that it shouldn't work, but it looks cute on her. What grade do we give this episode, Philip?
I am gonna say B+. It would be an A, but I think the actual plot of the episode is sort of neither here nor there. But it's just a really fun one, and there's some nice character stuff. So yeah.
Penelope?
I would also give it a B, maybe B-. I don't know. I would have liked more scenes with Cordelia and Harmony and less scenes with the guys, just for this episode. Because I felt like some of the scenes with them fighting were just unnecessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Zach?
I'll say a solid B. I think it would have been such a great A if, again, like less scenes with the guys, more scenes with them two, and had they not, kind of undone what they were setting up for Harmony, or at least not maybe undone, but just not did Harmony so dirty. And if Angel had to come in and give some sort of commentary, he could have given, yeah, she may have hurt you this time, but she's just figuring it out, right? Like, I had to do that too. Like, that's something he could have told Cordelia. And him just being right about it just fucking sucks, man. So B. And they're lucky I didn't do B-.
I agree with your rewrite, Zach. We love a Zach rewrite. I think I go with B+ just because I do agree with you. I don't love that end, but I do love everything else. And I love all the Harmony and Cordelia shit. I agree with you, Penelope. I would have loved it more if we got more of them just like being cute. Like give me a shopping montage. Give me like a bunch of shit of them. Give me a longer scene at the bar. Like them getting drunk together. I would love that.
Like both of them singing like a duet or something.
Yes.
That would have been so cute.
Oh my God. And it would have been Wind Beneath My Wings, wouldn't it?
We should have had her margarita moment of the season with Harmony.
Yes. I would have loved that. Thank you all for joining me. If you like Slayerfest 98, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. Feel free to subscribe to us and give us a good rating if you like us. You can find us on all social media platforms at SlayerFestX98. And again, we got a Patreon. Would love if you checked it out. And if you want to follow me on social media, I am at ENXCarlos across all social platforms. Penelope, where can everyone find you and your things?
I'm on Twitter as PReedXXX and on Instagram as PennyBot5000.
And Philip?
You can find me on Instagram at Philip Ellis. That's Philip with one L, Ellis with two. And you can find my book, Love and Other Scams, on Amazon or wherever you buy your books.
Ooh. And Zach, where can everyone find you?
You can search me, Zach Garcia, AZB, and I'll pop up somewhere. I also do a horror podcast with Carlos Crawford here, and you can search My Bloody Judy, and we will pop up there as well. I'm glad we just got My Bloody Judy for everything. We didn't have to do like variations. That's nice.
So much easier. So much easier. Well, all right, everyone. We are close to the end of Angel Season 2, and I'm kind of excited to get there, but we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.